What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I bring you another video for Knighthood. Now guys, my game told me I had to refresh. I closed out the game, I reopened it, and there was a little exclamation point on my news section. And of course that was like, normally that means that there's something new there. So I clicked it. Guys, we got some new stuff on the way. If you haven't already looked at this, take a look at it in game. 3/20/2020, the year ahead, a sneak peek. Whew, guys, I'm so excited. There's so much cool stuff in here. Now obviously we don't have incredible amounts of detail, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna see what stuff we can think of, what stuff's coming. Maybe we can give them some ideas as well in the comment section down below, so definitely hit up that comment section with anything interesting. But let's just go right into it. Greetings, brave knights. We hope you're all enjoying Dark Tour and smashing those pesky and unexpected Inquisition cultists. Whilst you're enjoying the event, we thought we'd give you a bit of a glimpse as to some of the things that are coming up over the next year. So before I get any further, this is really exciting to me for a couple of reasons. The first reason is they have plans for a year. Which means that the game is going to be around and hopefully active for at least a year, which is incredibly good for not only the concept of just playing the games, but also for the concept of a YouTube channel. Seeing as how Knighthood is like my main game, the concept of the game being around and getting constant updates for at least a year is amazing. So I'm very excited to hear that. But on the concept of just being a player, a year of a game, and with a company that is so active with its community as well, is amazing. So that is probably the first piece of hype that I have so far for this post. But let's keep going. Arena leagues. Are you a fan of testing your might against your fellow knights? Okay, so arena leagues maybe could be like you're assigned to a bracket maybe. Instead of just the whole number system, like maybe they're gonna bring in a bronze, silver, gold thing, and that's what they're talking about. Possibly they're gonna make leagues based on level. That could be interesting too. Like if you're 10 to 20, you're in this league. If you're 20 to 30, you're in that league. If you're 30 to 40, you're in that league. And if you're 45, you're in this league. Which could be really interesting too, because then you're not pushing up really high, because I have seen a lot of people complain, and I have seen it myself as well, that I'm sitting right around level 32 I think right now, or 31, right around there, and sometimes I go up against players who are 37 to 40 who haven't played arena in a while, but they've got level 37 to 40 minions, and I'm like, well, can't do anything here. So maybe they're thinking of doing something like that. Could be interesting. The bounty board, hunt those roaming monsters. I'm assuming that this is like another difficulty of roaming monsters, possibly a level 45 thing, or it could just be like extra bonuses for hunting certain types of roaming monsters. Which, when I think of bounty, I think of like go kill X number of X, right? So my assumption is this is going to be like hunt 5 roaming monsters in Meyerfen, hunt 10 roaming monsters in White Peaks. Something like that, or hunt 5 undead roaming monsters, things like that. But again, we don't know for sure. That's what my opinion on it is. I guess we'll have to see what happens when they release it, of course, or at least when they announce the more specifics. Transmogrification. Have you got a piece of armor or a weapon that you wished looked like something else? This is so exciting to me, because right now my armor is just kind of a mismatch, because I'm going with what has the best slots on it, and some of the armor in this game looks really, really cool. My question though is this going to be something like, oh well, you have this piece of armor, but you have to get the other piece of armor to make it look like this? Or is this going to be just another form of cosmetic? Are we going to have more cosmetics added to the chest, or a different chest with armor cosmetics? My assumption is it's probably going to be another chest with armor cosmetics, and I'm not opposed to that, because that's potentially another way to make more golds, which could be really good. But I'm also slightly thinking that maybe it's going to be like, you have X armor, well, you can make X armor look like Y armor because you own Y armor. In which case, I'm a little worried that potentially that means that we're going to have ridiculously large amounts of armor just like stuck in our inventory. So I'm hoping that if they do it that way, that they bring out like a separate inventory. Like, oh, I want to use this for transmogrification. Okay, put it in this extra inventory. It's not in my main inventory. But I guess we'll just have to see what that does. The Library of Enlightenment. Make your heroes even more powerful. So this is something that I saw in the game. It's already there. It just hasn't been unlocked yet. And I think I know maybe what this looks like. And my assumption is this is maybe like an awakening system. So it's either an area that you go in, and once you have your hero to a certain level, you can like fight a boss or some kind of enemy with that hero, and then if you beat it, then it awakens and it gets like an extra skill or a passive or something like that. It could also potentially be unlocking a higher level tier, right? Like potentially when this comes out, we unlock level 50, and in order to get your heroes to level 50, you have to take them through the Library of Enlightenment. Personally, I think that I like the concept of like having a passive a little bit better. You know, like for example, you know, you take Titania, who her basic ability, when you use it, has a chance to grant focus at max stars. Well, maybe the Library of Enlightenment, what that does is it unlocks a 5th star on Titania, and when you get it to 5 stars, not only does it give you the crit buff, but it also gives you an attack buff, or maybe it guarantees that crit buff. Something that, like, you know, once you awaken it, it makes the kit better, right? Potentially you could see a passive like every turn Titania heals, she also deals a certain number of damage to the enemies, or every time Titania heals or doesn't heal, you know, you get a passive 10% heal, like, you know, something that it increases the usage of certain heroes and buffs the usage of other heroes. You know, I'd like to see something like that. But I like the concept of like a unique passive for every hero. I play 7 Deadly Sins as well, and in 7 Deadly Sins, once you reach 16k combat class with a character, you can have them fight a specific fight, and when they come out, they get a passive unlocked, and those passives make the characters, well, most of them, either make the characters or the whole team like a million times stronger. So I think it'd be really interesting to have some kind of passive with the Library of Enlightenment. But unlocking a level tier or, you know, a star tier could be interesting as well, just increasing the overall power of the unit as well. Then we have charm re-rolling. So this is actually something I talked to Muffin Mouth about. If you haven't checked out Muffin Mouth's channel, definitely do so. He's got some really great content. When he has time to make content, he makes some real good stuff. So, but he had talked to me. I actually pulled a unique from a equipment chest, and I know you guys never saw it, and that's because it was absolutely utter garbage. It was like 3 minion slots and some, like, it was just terrible. It was so bad. And so I messaged Muffin Mouth, and I was like, hey man, you know, what should I do with this armor? You know, should I keep it, you know, just because it's unique, or, you know, should I get rid of it? And he was like, there's 2 options here. It's like, the first option is you can dismantle it, and when you dismantle it, you have a chance to get, you know, a purple or better charm slot, which could potentially be amazing if you were to get like a unique charm, you know, for armor or something. It could be potentially amazing. Or you could keep it for the chance that they come out with charm re-rolling. This is something that they've been talking about in the game apparently for quite some time, but he didn't know how long it was going to be. So ultimately I decided to dismantle it, and it was ultimately the best choice. I got a purple mage hero charm, which is great, especially for when I unlock Vordry. But it could have potentially been terrible. So now that we have the option to re-roll charm slots, that's amazing. You know, because I've had some rolls where it's like, oh, it has 1 armor slot, oh, but the other one is garbage, so it's not better than what I have. But potentially, you know, you could re-roll all of those slots and get yourself 3 armor slots or 3 hero slots on that unique or legendary piece of gear, and make it so that you didn't waste all that time. Now, we don't know how the system's going to work. This could be a system of like you can re-roll one slot. It could be you reroll all 3 slots at the same time. It could be, you know, you get to pick one slot, but it costs 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 gold. So there's a lot of things that could come with this. So I don't want you guys to get too excited about the rerolling system because we don't know anything about it. I would say be happy that it's coming because it allows for more customization. It allows for the chance to fix something on a piece of gear that you have. You know, maybe you have 3 hero slots or 3 armor slots on a piece of gear, but you're missing that last slot. You're missing the last slot that'll make it gear perfect. You know, and maybe, you know, it'll give you the potential to make that gear the best piece of gear, you know, you could possibly have. But definitely excited to see that this is possible. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hyped for it. Hopefully it's something great. More events, bigger and better events. This is great. Dark Tour's been great. I am a little worried that they're going to keep this exact same mentality of events going forward. And don't get me wrong. I like this style of event. It's good. It lasts a long period of time. It allows for players that are casual to play. Like if you can only play a couple days a week, you can play on the weekend and still get a decent amount of points. It also allows for people who are hardcore and can sit at their computer or can sit on their phone for 24 hours a day, you know, can farm up those roaming monsters and power through pretty quickly. What I'm a little worried about is that this is the exact same style as the Wintertide event from the soft launch. And I'm really hoping that they come up with a different style of event. I'm okay with having this event, but what I'd like to see is maybe an event like this happening once every 3 months. And then the other 2 months in between, we have a different kind of event. And that's mainly just because, you know, this event's going to get stale. If you do this event every month or every couple months, it's going to get stale. But if you bring in something like 2 times drop events or, you know, you have an event where you can pick a piece of armor that has certain charm slots, or you have an event where you get special customization stuff, or, you know, 2 times chest drop events, things like that that are, you know, they're special, but they're not super crazy, right? I would like to see events that give more materials than anything. This event gives a lot of materials, but I would like to see, you know, double roaming monster materials, or you get a roaming monster, you know, roaming monster spawn faster every, you know, every roaming monster that you kill, a new one spawns right away. So I could just sit there and farm roaming monsters for an hour. Something like that, just something that gives more materials overall, but also, you know, would be beneficial for the company because, well, if I'm farming roaming monsters for an hour, you know, I have to spend gems to refresh, which means I'm going to be more tempted to buy gems with money. But definitely excited for more events. This event's been great, but would just like to see maybe a new type of event come out would be my thing. Karnan's Lair. What has Karnan been up to? You'll find out. I don't know who Karnan is. I'm not going to lie, I've not been paying attention to the story, so if he's a story guy, let me know who he is in the comment section below. But Karnan's Lair, just based on that concept, this makes me think raid. This makes me think it's an event that you can take multiple things into and fight against a boss. Similar to the raid boss that we have, the guild bosses that we have currently, but including more than one knight. That's my assumption. Again, I don't know for sure, obviously, but I am going to assume this is going to be a 2 to 4 player event that goes on, or something along those lines. Potentially even like a world boss that, you know, every player has to work towards defeating the world boss in his lair. But it's definitely something exciting. Whenever I hear lair, that gets me hype because that means rewards. Because I immediately think of Dragon Lair and Dragon's Horde. So maybe that's not what it's going to be, but that's my like immediate take on it. But then it also says and loads more, which means definitely excited because that means there's more to come than just these, 7 things. 7 things is a lot of things. Normally you don't hear things until 1 or 2, you know, weeks before they come out, and they're giving us a whole year of things coming out, and that is super exciting for me, for sure. But yeah, and then we're looking forward to continuing our journey through the world of Knighthood with you all. It's going to be a great year. Guys, this is so exciting. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of all of these things. If you have an idea for one of these things that's on here, you know, I am sure that the dev team would love to get our opinions on things. They have told me that there are a lot of things in the works, but when we talk about things and when we request things, that tends to shoot things up the list. So and that's kind of a standard thing in most games. If you talk about wanting something, more likely than not it's on their list, but when you bring it up and you talk about it, it's something that's going to get pushed a little bit further on that list so that they can work on it sooner, because it's something that we're asking for. So definitely hit up the comment section with anything you guys can think of about these events, what you're excited for, and all that jazz. Next thing before we go, guys, we are at 497 subscribers. I'm looking at it right now. In fact, you know what? Hold on. Let me grab it. Boom. 497 subscribers, guys. That's my live feed of my subs, which means we need 3 more subs to hit 500 subs, and that means we get our gem giveaway. So if you guys love Knighthood content, you want a gem giveaway, sub to the channel, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when all of my content goes live. And if you just like this content, hit the subscribe button too, because I love bringing content to you guys. I am looking forward to expanding into other games. Definitely still a big focus on Knighthood. But guys, that is going to be it for me today. We're already going over 15 minutes. I've been trying real hard to keep them under, but there's just so much to talk about. Definitely like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. That's cool too. I get it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.